All right, let's talk about a little device that causes a ton of discussion in the ham radio world. The one-to-one balun. Is it some kind of magic box, or is it just smart, simple engineering? Well, let's jump right in and find out. You hear this all the time, right? It seems like magic. And honestly, I get it. People claim it has all these amazing powers. So you gotta wonder, what is really going on inside that little box?
Okay, so let's get into this supposed magic. What are we actually talking about here? The claims? Well, they're pretty bold.
I mean, look at this list. People say it can turn a bad SWR good, give you more bandwidth, cut down on interference, even stop your radio from messing with the TV or the washing machine. So how much of that is real? To get to the bottom of it, we first have to understand the problem this thing is designed to solve.
Yeah, before we can even talk about the solution, we've got to dig into the problem. And it all starts with a fundamental mismatch right at the heart of your antenna system. The key word here? Symmetry. And here's the core of the issue, right here. On one side, you've got your antenna. Let's say a dipole. It's symmetrical, it's balanced, both sides are doing the same thing. But then you've got your feed line, your coax cable. That's asymmetrical, it's unbalanced. You've got a center conductor and a shield. See the problem? We're trying to connect two things that are just fundamentally different. So what happens when you just hook them up anyway? Well, this isn't just some small technical detail you can ignore. No, this mismatch creates a very real problem, and it has some pretty nasty side effects that you definitely don't want. And those side effects? They can literally radiate all through your house. We're talking about these sneaky little things called common mode currents. Honestly, the best way to think of them is like unwanted RF stowaways. These things are the villain of our story, for sure. It's basically RF energy that's decided to hitch a ride where it has no business being, all over the outside of your coaxial cable's shield. And why is it there? Well, it's all because of that imbalance between the antenna and the feed line. And here's the kicker. When this happens, your feed line isn't just a feed line anymore. That outer shield, it's now an active part of your antenna. It's actually radiating RF energy. That is not what you want. And this, well, this is where the mayhem begins. This unwanted radiation can cause chaos. It can mess with your own radio gear, your power supply. But it doesn't stop there. It can get into the electrical wiring of your house and start causing RFI with your TV, your refrigerator, you name it. It's a huge headache. So the big question is, how do we stop these RF stowaways in their tracks? How do we fix that core imbalance? Well, this is where our hero, that little box, finally enters the story. And you know, the answer is literally in the name. Balun. It's short for balanced to unbalanced. It's the perfect device to create a smooth, proper transition between that balanced antenna and that unbalanced feed line. So here's how it works. You stick it right there between your antenna and your coax. What it does is it basically decouples the feed line. It separates it from the antenna in an electrical sense. This puts up a roadblock for those pesky common mode currents. They can't flow down the shield anymore. And just like that, you've restored the symmetry of the system. So what's the result? Simple. A much more efficient antenna system and way, way less interference. Your antenna does its job, and your feed line goes back to being just a feed line. Okay, so now we know what a balun is supposed to do. Let's go back to that original list of magic powers and do a little myth busting. Let's separate the truth from the hype. All right, here's the big one. This is probably the #1 myth you hear. So tell me, does a one-to-one balun actually improve a bad SWR? Nope, a big fat no. A one-to-one balun does not and cannot change your SWR. Think about it. The name itself, one-to-one, tells you everything. The impedance it sees is the impedance it presents. It doesn't transform anything. So, when you look at the myths versus the reality, it becomes pretty clear. It's not a magic SWR fix. That whole increasing bandwidth thing, mostly just stories, no real technical reason for it. A balun is not a cure-all. It's a precision tool for a very specific job, fixing that balance problem. But wait, there's more. There's a really cool bonus feature that most people don't even think about. See, a balun works in both directions. So just like it stops RF from traveling down your coax, it can also stop electrical noise from traveling up your coax to your radio, We're talking about all that junk from cheap phone chargers, noisy power supplies, solar inverters. All that stuff can get picked up by your feed line. A balun can help block it, which can actually lower your receive noise floor. Pretty cool, right?
So you might be thinking, if it doesn't help, it doesn't hurt, right? I mean, given all these benefits, is there any reason not to use one? Well, the only downside is a tiny, tiny bit of signal loss. We're talking like zero point 0.1, maybe zero point 0.2 dB on the high bands for a good one. Honestly, that is so small, you will never ever notice it. So yeah, for almost any symmetrical antenna, it's a super safe bet.
So let's circle all the way back to our original question. Is the one-to-one balloon magic? No, it's just really good engineering. It's an elegant solution to a common problem, and it just lets your whole antenna system work the way it was designed to.
Really, the whole thing boils down to one word: symmetry. So the big takeaway, the question you should be asking yourself about your own station, is pretty simple. Is your antenna system truly balanced?